Happy Friday, Xavier. Next week is Easter break. I'm Lydia Rogers.
And I'm Connor Muldoon. This is Xavier News.
From the Xavier University Television Studio, this is Xavier News.
A pro-ISIS magazine in Istanbul was bombed on Wednesday night, killing one writer and injuring 3 others, including the editor-in-chief. According to Turkish police, the bomb was left at the main entrance of the magazine's office and detonated when the door opened. The magazine, Adamlar, supports the Islamic State group and regularly publishes radical anti-American content. So far, police have not announced any potential suspects. However, a member of Adamlar's staff was quick to blame foreign intelligence agencies for the bombing, saying, quote, "We know this to be the work of the CIA and Mossad. We know this to be an intelligence operation." End quote.
The Germanwings Flight 9525 that crashed into the French Alps on Tuesday has been investigated to the point where officials have declared that the co-pilot, Andreas Lubitz, intentionally brought the plane down. After the pilot stepped out of the cockpit, Lubitz locked the cockpit door and initiated the descent. An audio recording that captured the sounds of what happened just before the crash revealed the captain banging on the door when he was locked out. New information disclosed that the autopilot was reprogrammed during the flight to change the plane's altitude from 38,000 feet to only 100 feet. German Chancellor Angela Merkel made a statement on the situation, saying, quote, "We have to assume that Flight 9525 was deliberately activated for a crash. This is hard to comprehend for most people. Nobody can imagine this," end quote. The crash killed 150 people, 3 of whom were American citizens. In campus news, Xavier's Black Student Association recently held a fashion show fundraiser depicting black fashion through the years. Reporter Alyssa Metz has the story.
Xavier University's Black Student Association traveled back in time to show the evolution of Black people through fashion, beginning as Egyptian kings and queens, to enslaved people who fought for freedom in America, to the Roaring '20s where the Charleston was popular, fast forwarding to the era of the Black Panthers, hip-hopping into the mid-'80s, all the way to the present where America has its first Black president and First Lady. In celebration of Black culture and history, several local fashion designers and stylists showcased their talents as the models ripped the runway. Amongst them was Xavier's very own up-and-coming designer, Randall Mitchell.
So the inspiration behind my line, basically, I'm going to launch this fall, is called Our Mitch. Basically, I decided to launch this line because I recognized there was a need in our community for looks that are professional for young people.
At the end of the night, BSA's board announced that they raised over $1,000 for the Ronald McDonald House from ticket sales. Co-chair Tori Alexander wanted the audience to also receive something of value.
We wanted everyone in that crowd to take the message that Black is beautiful, Black is intelligent, Black is creative, and Black is moving forward.
This is Alyssa Metz reporting for Xavier News.
A Pennsylvania man experienced some unbelievable luck this week. Joseph Americi won $7 million on a scratch-off ticket that he received in a get-well card from his father. Shocked at the win, Americi said, quote, "I had surgery, so I didn't jump up and down, but in my head, I was jumping up and down," end quote. Americi will collect a lump sum of $4.6 million after taxes. He stated that his father often gives lottery tickets as gifts, but this was the first one with a major payoff. Americi and his wife plan to use some of the money for a second honeymoon.
2 men were arrested in Illinois for allegedly conspiring to support ISIS. One of the men was a member of the Army National Guard. The other was his cousin. Specialist Hassan Edmonds was arrested on Wednesday night when he was attempting to fly to Egypt to eventually join up with ISIS. His cousin Jonas Yunus Hassan was arrested at his home in Aurora as he was allegedly planning to attack a U.S. military facility in northern Illinois. It is believed that Jonas was going to wear his cousin's uniform to carry out this plot. The 2 were charged with 1 count each of conspiring to provide material support and resources to a foreign terrorist organization.
The city of Cincinnati mourns the death of veteran firefighter Daryl Gordon. Caught in a Madisonville blaze on Thursday morning, Gordon was the first active duty firefighter to be lost in 12 years. Thursday morning, shortly before 6 a.m., a fire broke out in Kings Tower Apartments. Several fire companies responded. While trying to rescue residents, Gordon fell down an elevator shaft. He later died at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. Hours after Gordon's death, John Mayer Cranley said at a news conference, quote, "The term hero is often overused in today's society, but Daryl truly meets the definition," end quote. A local coffee shop is doing its part to foster the atmosphere of community and cooperation in the Evanston neighborhood. Reporter Brian DiNatale has the scoop.
At the corner of Montgomery and Brewster, one local coffee shop is striving to make a real impact on the communities of Evanston and Norwood. Community Blend is a worker-owned co-op that's mission is to create a warm and welcoming place for members of the community to come together.
In my opinion, the mission would be basically doing something positive and giving back to this neighborhood, because this building has been condemned for like 30 years before we opened it. So it's definitely something new, positive to the neighborhood. And basically, we want everybody in the area to feel welcome when they're here.
With an immense variety of coffee, tea, and other menu items, Community Blend is sure to offer something for everyone.
We have a variety of different teas, coffees, chocolates, different specialty drinks with espresso, and of course we have bakery items, and we have a selection of different meats and breads and cheeses where we can make you an awesome sandwich.
By working with other co-ops, Community Blend is able to expand their social impact beyond the local or even national levels.
When you come here and you support Community Blend, not only are you supporting Community Blend in Evanston as a community, but you're also supporting the people who pick the beans, because we cut out the distributor, the processor, the different coffee companies that have their hands out for extra cash. We cut all them out. So the people who pick the beans, they actually get the money that they need to survive and take care of their families.
It also provides a great place for people to come and relax and escape from school or work for a little while.
Well, to me, it's more of a personal touch. It's a warm, inviting atmosphere. You know, a few Xavier students come over here all the time, you know, have lunch, have coffee, study. You know, we have free Wi-Fi. It's not loud and overbearing. It's a wonderful place.
Overall, Community Blend is doing their part to brew up social change in Cincinnati.
It's a blend of communities coming together to form something positive in a neighborhood that has not been viewed in so many positive lights. So now we're trying to do, with our coffee shop, shine a new light on this neighborhood, this community, and the people in it.
For Xavier News, this is Brian DiNatale.
Indiana's government has been making national news as the state signed into law a bill that allows for religious freedom. This piece of legislation will allow businesses to turn away gays and lesbians for religious freedom purposes. This has concerned the NCAA, as Indianapolis will be the host of the Final Four this year. NCAA President Mark Emmert said the organization will, quote, work diligently to ensure that no one, players or fans, are negatively impacted by this bill, end quote. Out of a dozen other states pushing for similar bills, Indiana is the first to act and make it law. The NCAA, which is also based in Indianapolis, has said that they believe this bill could affect the city's reputation as a host to other major sporting events. That's all from this desk. Have a fun and safe break and an enjoyable Easter. Up next is Andrew Tanner with the Xavier Sports Report.
Friday, Xavier fans. Welcome to another edition of the Xavier Sports Report. I'm Andrew Tanner. Let's get right to the action. Now, it was the sour end to the Sweet 16 for the men's hoops team last night. After a hard-fought thriller, the Muskies were eliminated from the NCAA tournament by Arizona 68-60. Now, the team gave a good show in the first half. They kept up with the Wildcats' NBA-caliber starting five and kept it close with two 4-0 runs in the first half. They hit over 46% of their shots in the first half, with Matt Stainbrook going 5 of 8 in his last game for the X. The Musketeers opened up the second half. They took the lead on a couple Stainbrook free throws, then took a 4-point lead, 42-38, with about 12 and a half minutes left in the game. But you got to know how to close in the second half, and Xavier did not close at the end of this game. Arizona took the lead at the 10:20 mark, and they went on a 9-0 run to take the lead 58-54 with about 5 minutes remaining. Now, Miles Davis cut a 7-point lead to 4 with one of his signature threes with about 2 minutes remaining. But then 2 minutes to go, you got to start fouling. 4 free throws by Arizona sealed the win for the Wildcats. Now, commemoration, this was the last college game for seniors Matt Stainbrook and D. Davis, and they had great games. They left it all out on the floor. The Stain Train had a double-double with 17 points to go with 10 rebounds, while Double D chipped in with 12 points of his own. After the game, Stainbrook reflected on his college career, saying, quote, "When it comes down to it, I want people to remember me as a person that played hard, played to win, played tough," end quote. Congrats to Matt and D, and good luck to them in their pro playing careers if they go on and keep playing or whatever they end up doing after graduation. And another storyline, this is also a reunion for Chris Mack with his former boss and mentor, Sean Miller. Miller was ex-U's coach from 2004 to 2009, and the two have remained friends and caught up for some laughs prior to the game previous in the week. And now, despite the loss, I know nobody on campus was in a bad mood this morning after the game, but Xavier basketball is definitely on the upswing. Nobody thought we would give a 2 seed like Arizona, full of NBA draft picks, a hard-fought game, let alone even make the Sweet 16. They were definitely a Cinderella this year, somewhat. And next year, it will be exciting to see how returning players like Jalen Reynolds, Miles Davis, Trayvon Blewett, and J.P. McCura continue developing in 2015-16. Now it's almost April. The weather is finally warmed up outside, and that means the women's tennis team is back on the court. And one player won a prestigious honor this past week for her recent success. Sophomore Sydney Liggins won the 2015 Big East Player of the Week honors after an undefeated performance against Xavier's former A10 foe, Dayton. Liggins went 4-0 last week against her opponents. In singles play, she defeated Marlies Bridgham of Dayton 6-1 and 6-4, and then Marquette's Anna Pimenta 6-1 and 6-2. She only allowed her opponents to win a combined 8 games, which was a team low for the week. And then in doubles play, she and Amina Ismail made for double trouble, defeating Bridgham and Mandy Marchant 8-1 from Dayton, and Marquette's Pimenta and her partner Aaron Gehez 8-6. Now, congrats to Sydney, and let's hope she and the team can keep serving up wins on the tennis court. And that's all we've got this week. Good luck to all our athletes this weekend. Congrats to the basketball team. I'm Andrew Tanner on behalf of everyone here at the studio. Enjoy the games, have a safe travel home, and have a great Easter.